All right, hi again, 8th grade. Making our second video on slope-intercept form. So take a second and try to remember what slope-intercept form is, or look at your notes from the other day, the last video you watched, and hopefully you remember that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So remember, y and x are your variables, m is your slope, and b is your y-intercept. Squeezing that in there. You should have that in your notes though, because that's what we're going to use today. So in the last video, you were given different kind of sentences or scenarios or points to write y, the slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. Today you're going to be given lines, and you have to write that equation from the graph. So let's do this together. So I know I need to write, for this first example, I need to figure out what m is, and I need to figure out what b is. Okay, m is my slope. So I can look at my graph and figure out what the slope is. I'll pick 2 points. I'm just going to pick this one and this one. So my slope, my rise is up 1. It's a positive slope, right? So I'm just going to put a positive so I remember that. So it's up 1, that's my rise, over 1, 2, 3 spaces. So my slope is 1 over 3. Positive 1 over 3. Okay, B is my y-intercept. Where does this thing cross the y-axis? Well, it crosses right here, nice and neat for me, and that's at the point y equals 1, 2. So B is 2. So now when I write my equation of the line, it's y equals 1/3 x plus 2. Just plugging in those numbers where the m are and where the b are. That's the answer for the first one. All right, let's try the next one. I know again I need my m and I need my b. This one, the dots aren't so obvious, and I drew this by hand so it's not so great, but I know that there is 1 point here and there's 1 point here on the corners. Those are helpful for finding slope when they cross through those corners, so I'm going to use that. So my slope is positive because the line's going up, right? Now I do my rise first, so I have to go up 1, 2 spaces. So my top number is 2, over my run is 1 space. So my slope is 2 over 1, and hopefully you guys can already see 2 divided by 1 is the same as writing 2. So I can just say my slope is 2. Now B, where's my y-intercept? Where does this thing cross the y-axis? Well, it's supposed to cross here. I drew it by hand. But hopefully you guys can see that it crosses at, this is -1, and that means the next one is -2. So my y-intercept is -2. So when I write the equation of this line, it's y equals 2x, and my y-intercept is -2. So I write -2. All right, now this last one, I'm going to pick out 2 points here. Let's pick out this point. Right, this point is 0, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's just pick another point where it crosses in the corner right here. So that point is -1, -2, comma, 1, 2. So pause the video for a second. I'm going to ask you a question and figure out what the slope is first. All right, so hopefully you figured out the slope is, I'm going to use a different color. If I have to, I know it's positive. I'm going to use blue, right, because it's going up. And then how many do I rise? Well, I rise 1, 2 spaces. So 2 is my top number, and then I run 1, 2 spaces as well. So 2 divided by 2 is the same as saying the slope is 1. It's +1 because 2 divided by 2 is 1. And now what's the y-intercept? Take a second and think about that. What's the y-intercept? All right, hopefully you can see it crosses the y-axis at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then my last question is to take a second and write the slope-intercept form on your own. Y equals what? 1x plus 4. And remember, when you have 1x, you don't actually have to write the 1. So you can just write x plus 4.